Hello friends and welcome home. I'm Jamie James if we haven't met, and I'm so glad you're here. And if we have met, I'm glad you're here also. Today we are planting daffodils for our spring. You plant daffodils in the fall, and we are planting a mix my mom bought from Brex. She loves Brex, and it is a mix of different bulbs. So we'll see what we get in the spring. And we're going to do a method that she suggested that we try, and that is to plant the bulbs or disperse the bulbs in a way that if you were to come upon daffodils within nature that hadn't been planted by a person. And the strategy of that is just to take the bulbs and disperse them by throwing them out, and wherever they land, however they clump up, that is how you're going to plant them. We have this hillside here. It's not really a hill, but sloped to our driveway. That is just it's all grass, and obviously it needs a good mowing, which we can mow over the top of the daffodils. That's the nice thing, is they come up first in the spring, and then the stalks are you're able to just mow them down and it doesn't hurt the plant at all. And the other nice thing about daffodils is that they are pretty much rodent proof. We're not going to worry about these guys hanging out here on the side of the hill, and they are pretty hardy. So we get pretty cold temperatures, and these will last those temperatures, as well as actually daffodils like it when it's cold, right? That they will bloom because of the cold temperatures. So we're going to give this a try, and we will check back in spring and see what it looks like. So let's get to it. One thing to note though, before I get to it, one thing to note is that not to plant your daffodils, if you're able to get them, you should plant them right now if you're able. Here at the beginning of November, we still have a couple weeks probably before it's a little late. Now let's get to it. So I'm literally going to just cast these onto the ground, and wherever they lie is how we are going to plant them.
So if you have not met yet our dog, this is Piper. She is a mini Australian Shepherd. She has that pretty tricolor face. It's kind of hard to see in the picture here. And we have had her since she was a puppy. She's 3 years old, and she is such a great family dog. She's super loyal. Definitely has that shepherding instinct of wanting to make sure the whole family is safe. So she'll leave people to check on others. Unless Adela is outside, she usually sticks right by Adela's side the entire time. Adela is her person. They were babies together, essentially. One thing to note, she is very leery of people. So she will let us know when the mailman is here, or give us warning. She does not like strangers, so we usually have to put her into a bedroom when friends come over until she gets used to them. Once she knows who you are, she has no problem coming up to you and being around you. It just takes that initial moment for her.
I do love that we're planting these here on this hillside because it is the view out our window, our front window to our garden, and it's fairly close to the bees. So when they first start coming out, it will be one of the first things that will provide some nectar for them in the spring. So that will be fun. So our daffodils will be planted about 6 inches deep, and we are going to go ahead and start planting them in. So let's get to it.
A few notes about our property right here. In the background, you see the road coming in. That's an easement on our property, feeding our property, and then a few lots up above us that were subdivided off. And along that flows a little creek that has a spring up on the neighbor's property right above us. So it would be fun to plant some leafy trees or colorful plants as the seasons changed. If you have any ideas, I'd love to hear them. I'm not sure when we'll get to that, but that is a down the road goal. And also you see there's a stump right there near me, and that stump, who knows how long it's been there, but our plan is to pull it out probably in the summer. I'll have to probably hunt around for daffodil bulbs at that point and put them back down into the ground, but we're just going to go ahead and plant these until the point of actually pulling that stump out. And we'd like to eventually replace this fence that's here on the right hand side with a newer fence, but it has stood the test of time for the old farrier who lived in the property before us. He owned quite a bit of land, and then they subdivided off our acreage, which is 18 acres, and then some 5-acre lots. And he did everything very frugally, which I think is super cool. He worked with what he had, and he did a great job keeping up on the place, even considering all that he had to maintain. But on the inside of that fence is our blueberry bushes. We have 8 blueberry bushes lining our yard that we put in when we moved in. Most of them were gifts. Actually, a friend's parent had to get rid of their blueberry bushes, or wanted to get rid of their blueberry bushes for a different purpose. And then we went and dug them up and were able to transplant them here. The soil tested really well in that area, which is why we chose to put them there, and it gets full sun. We also purchased 3 additional plants that are like 3 years old, so they're a larger blueberry plant and produce more. Our first year of production, though, was our best. We've been in 2 years, and the second year that we put in, after putting in the plants, we had this very hot heat blast is all I can call it. It was a super hot wind, and the temperatures were extremely hot in the hundreds, which is high here. And it kind of singed the plants where the wind blew in, on the side it blew in. So that kind of damaged our big blueberries. And then this spring, as you know, was a super cold spring, and we had snow up until Easter, or during Easter time. And so the buds that would have grown or were trying to come out pretty much all died off. We only had a few that survived the cold weather, and so production was nil.
Okay, so a couple tips. For me, 6 inches is about my finger width, tip to tip. That's an easy way to measure. So 4 to 6 inches, I've got it. You can measure your own hand and see if that's true. Then you just have less tools you need to worry about. When you're planting, see this part down here, the flatter part, it has like little roots. That is the root system that wants to go down. And this right here, the tip looking thing, that is going to be your stalk coming up out of the ground for the plant to grow. So make sure this is tip up, roots down when you're planting, if you have not planted these before. Another tip is, if you probably seen me take off my gloves because should not have worn my hair down, mistake, but plastic gloves underneath of your regular gloves if you suffer from dry skin. So my skin dries out pretty easily with the dirt, and these gloves, this is obviously a ratty pair, but they just don't hold back the dirt that well. So this prevents me from having to scrub out all of the dirt, and my fingers stay less dry. And if they're super dry, or there's if they're cracking or anything like that under the plastic glove before I put it on, I just use a nitrate glove, by the way. Underneath of that, you can put lotion on before you put them on. Feels a little weird at first, but trust me, your hands will be like you just had a little spa day for your hands after you've done it. So try it out. So I'm going to finish this up, and then we're done. One thing to know, if you saw me, I'm looking around for bulbs because it's kind of hard to see with all of the leaves and stuff. So that might have been something I advise you if you're doing this method, is to spread a little bit at a time and then go forward, because I'm hunting around for bulbs. The other thing, if you're doing this, is the grass. Grass likes to net together. That's how the root system works, is it's like a little net. And so you have to break that up so that the bulbs can grow up through. I still want the grass because I don't want so much ground uncovered. We have so much ground we're already trying to tend and cover with mulch and whatnot. So I want the grass to remain, but I need to break up that system, that root system, so that the stalk will be able to come up through. So that is just a few tips, and I'm going to finish up here.
Believe it or not, I have a holiday party later today, and that is why I have my hair done and my hoops in. I usually don't wear hoops when I'm gardening, but I was trying to get halfway ready.
And there you have it, friends. We planted all of our daffodil bulbs. I can't wait to see what it looks like in the spring and to show you the progress. Thanks for tuning in. I've enjoyed having you. We'll see you next time. Bye.